Yeah, I probably should have thought of what I should say first before I start these things, but I never like to actually script out these. So, per usual, I've been thinking. Mostly feeling, because otherwise this wouldn't be one of these types of videos, but, like, I was just, like, thinking about, or just kind of, it's been one of those days, it's getting near the holiday season. I've been trying to be a bit more cheerful, as much as I can be. And I don't know what to really say. I got a little bit of a raise, but haven't been promoted to a new position, so, which is likely because I've not been I'm not the happy, I'm not a happy camper, right? And I've made like a bunch of posts on Twitter as well. If people do follow me there, I do recognize one name who follows me there. Hi, Divinity. I wonder how weird it is to be called out like by name on one of these types of videos. But yeah, I don't know if I should do that more often or not. But I see people. I acknowledge that they exist and like that. I don't know. They're cool people. Me being awkward as fuck. Yeah, no. But I remember like I was just like making it kind of just like I was just like, thinking about a lot of different things. For one, I had to be a bit more active. I had to like clean out like a tenant's room. We found a lot of nasty stuff, mold, and a bunch of other stuff. I found like a dildo, which luckily was still in its case, so I didn't have to worry about any fluids in, possibly any weird diseases being touched by me, especially since I tend to have a lot of wounds on my body for no apparent reason other than like I scratch them a lot. There's just a bunch of rashes and whatnot. I've been very, very like annoyed recently, and it probably is a diet issue where I'm not eating, the usual stuff that I used to eat, which was just like beef and eggs every single day, which was kind of horrible. Sometimes I'll mix in a little bit of like soy sauce and stuff, and like some garlic salt, but I'm not the brightest. I ended up like here's the thing, I was able to like keep the diet pretty consistently, but I did get tired of the same foods. But I kind of just stuck with it because there was literally nothing to cook otherwise, because I only bought that and it was fairly simple enough to cook. You just let it sit for like 10 minutes, chuck some beef in a pot, let it just kind of cook for 10 minutes or so, mix up a bunch of eggs, and you get a pretty decently salty food. It's not bad. It's pretty good. But then I had like cravings for other things, and I kind of was thinking to myself, huh, am I doing this right? Because I don't know if this craving is right. I think I should listen to my body, which I typically do, and just kind of like eat a variety of foods. So I kind of just caved into a bit of craving, snacked on a few things here and there. But like it really wasn't a willpower thing. It was just me going like, okay, is eating? Am I not? Are there like some nutrients that beef and eggs are lacking? Because I'm getting them through fucking Walmart. I don't know what the fuck they feed the chickens and the cows. I don't know if they're eating healthy and they're getting all the nutrients that they need for their flesh to be healthy that I'm consuming. So, I don't know. So I just kind of ordered a few things here and there, and then my acne's gotten a bit more worse. I have acne on my skin. I have been looking into like different skin care routines here and there, but all of them just kind of feel all bloated, just kind of there to sell things. And even when I did try different things, just cause maybe trying these things that they're selling might work, maybe there's a reason people are buying it, it didn't really freaking work. I tried buying like acne skin, like products to like just some kind of lotion and stuff that's supposed to like help deal with the acne on my skin, and it just made it worse. So that was a bright idea. I deserve to be kind of scammed there. And, because I've been kind of reneging on my health and not eating the beef and eggs that I promised my body, per usual. And it might have been because, again, like, some of the gut bacteria that thrive on unhealthy and junk food was, like, really starting, like, really prodding me to, like, eat junk food. So now that I know that, one, I don't want to throw away almost all the food that I currently have, but if, once I'm through with literally everything, it's basically just kind of straightforward, just eggs and beef. My farts are gonna smell like a bioweapon, but but that's what I want to do. It also really helped with like gut issues. I didn't like. You really don't know how how many problems you have that you just kind of live with just instantly disappear when you consume eggs and beef. And as soon as I like started like consuming junk food again and like all that kind of stuff a bit more frequently, I felt those effects very quickly. And then like I didn't really go back because I kind of figured, I do enjoy the variety of foods, so maybe it's normal to, I don't know. I just didn't feel like thinking about it too much, like I was craving it, so I just needed to get that shit in my stomach. But that's what's been going on with my stuff. And then work has been also just kind of rough because, well, it's work. I have to deal with ugly, unruly customers who don't know how to do anything. They constantly need babysitting here and there. You'd imagine that like you working at a store, you just meet and greet customers, maybe hold conversation, which I'm bad at. But there's also other functions like keeping the store straightened out, checking out customers, taking out some trashes. It's not the hardest thing in the world. It really isn't. But dealing with the customers is literally like the hardest part, I guess. I don't know. But it's just I've gotten so annoyed of just all the customers that's just been coming in and day out. They obviously don't take care of their health because they are shaped the exact opposite of peak health. They don't smell like they're in peak health because I can smell the cigarettes coming off of them and everything else of the sort. And, like, there's just a bunch of stuff that I had to, I don't know. And I don't know how else to put it other than I was really angry. I was really pissed. It was just unfair. It just didn't feel fair to me that in order to survive, anybody, I had to fucking, basically change the diapers on all these people. Every single fucking day. I had to frickin' deal with these customers who didn't know how to touch a screen every single day, And, I was just kind of feeling that. And then, I'm not sure how much I should pry into my personal life, but guess I'll glaze my brother a little bit. That is the term, right? Where you kind of like hype up a person, glaze. My brother came back and he's got his life pretty much figured out. He's way more smart than I am, significantly. I am smart in my own way where I can figure out most of the technical stuff and any like very low level work, whether it be construction or managing a whole bunch of stuff, I can easily figure out within 2 weeks. It's not that big of a deal. Any little problem that you bring me that can be easily fixed with your hands can and will be fixed by by my hands. I can pick up literally any basic skill like that within 2 weeks or so. That's like my basic amount. Honestly, I'd say 1 week. The rest is just kind of refining it. Like I basically am already fully functional by the first week, and I'm already refining it. The rest is just kind of, it is what it is. But for high level things and like for other type of stuff, I actually honestly genuinely suck at. I have no idea how to manage an audience. I have no idea how to market or communicate, make connections whatsoever. If I did, I mean, I don't know how many people are still watching this freaking podcast of a thing that I'm calling a podcast. I still don't know if it's a proper podcast or not. But, I don't think if anyone has been watching since the start, I know at least one or two people might be. It wouldn't be here if I knew how to talk and make connections and, like, do more critical problem solving things, I guess. Like, I've always been told, like, I remember being told that, like, you know, that I didn't know how to actually solve problems, and I was so confused because I take the things literally because that type of freak, right? And it's just like, what do you mean? Of course I can solve problems. Literally anything you give me, if you coder me, like tutor me, coach me, tutor me. How did I mix? How did I fuse those two words together? I'd learn it pretty quickly and I'd be able to solve your problems, no problem, right? But that wasn't really problem solving. Like, I was solving problems, of course, but it's just kind of like at a much higher level. I'm gonna use this type of term a lot, like this type of reference. It's a lot of like, how to be successful spiel speech type stuff, like how famous successful people, whenever they like try to like coach people and do that type of stuff, like that's the type of lingo that they use. I'm gonna be using it a little bit here because there's no better way that I'm able to figure out how to put it. But I don't really solve problems, right? Like, I can make my own VTuber model and I can make all that stuff, but being an actual VTuber, actually like solving problems and like doing the stuff that actually makes a VTuber is far beyond me. I have a little bit of an audience, but I have no idea how to grow it. I have a little bit of like graphic design knowledge, but I don't know what to design. And it's also, like, it's kind of hard. It was kind of hard to get because I am an artist, and a lot of us artists are mentally fucking ill, and we are all very prickly, crazy personalities. If we weren't, then we wouldn't try to make entire worlds and try to like make them into reality through our paintings and art. And if not that, then it's people trying to like paint the world how they see it rather than capturing the beauty of the world itself. Most people who delve into art are basically people who want to share their beauty into the world, not capture the beauty of the world itself, which is how I feel one of the best pieces of that can be made are coming into being. Artists and people who try to capture the beauty of the world, not really trying to, do something with the vision. That really already like kind of completely, artists who like, who try to make ugly look cute and whatnot. Like, that's the reason why their art looks ugly. They're not capturing beauty. They're trying to make ugliness beautiful, which is a direct contradiction. And it's an entire like Tumblr art style. They reject the beauty of the natural world, which is like the furthest thing that an artist can really freaking do, because like, there's like that's probably the scale that we're gonna set there. But I am like kind of on a bit of a tangent now, so I'm gonna stop that thought there. But that's kind of it. And it was hard for me to kind of figure it out. It's still kind of hard because I still don't really get it. But I complain a lot, which is why I created this freaking podcast series. And I know people kind of see me as a freaking, like, a genuine I don't even, like, I don't know how to put this. Like, people see me as a femboy because I am a bit more honest and upfront about my emotions, right? And, you know, I don't really see a problem with that. I don't really care. But, you know, it's just like how my personality really is. Like, if people saw me in real life, I'm pretty sure they'd see me as a guy or whatever. Just a really, really whiny little shit guy, but a guy nevertheless. And now old people are calling me ma'am. It's been for some reason recently, like, people have been calling me ma'am. I don't think old people tend to use like thank you man. Like they usually say like thank you sir, or you know, like the old fashioned stuff, but like for some reason old people, like, I don't know if I was mishearing it, but like it's been like it happened twice. Some old guys said like thank you man. Huh? Is it an N? Is it an M? I'm hearing an M. Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma'am. And then the second one came in. I don't know, remember if it was the same person because I don't remember faces. Not that often. Even then, it's just kind of slightly automatic. And what else? I just hope to God that I'm not like. I just hope that I'm not that feminine looking, man. Like, I do want to be a little bit of a man, bro. Like, it just, I don't know. I don't know how to put it. Like, I have facial hair and stuff like that. Then again, I'm wearing a mask these days, so just to get rid of like creepy old people. But from like getting on my back. And I was just like thinking back on topic. I am a very, very emotional person. A lot of my emotions really drive me. They dictate a lot of where I go. And funnily enough, that has benefited me significantly more than it has really harmed me in a lot of different ways. Like, I've always kind of refused to tolerate like really, really bad things. And I just kind of refuse to accept anything that was bad. That's just kind of like my emotions. And every single time, like, even though I act emotionally, even though I'm not that pleasant of a person to be around, like, so is everybody else who isn't really, like, I've met a lot of bad people, and you know, when I thought they were good people, and then when I trusted my emotions to just kind of say, no, this is bad, this is horrible, this isn't how things should be, and that's not how things ought to go, that was just plain horrible. Even if I did something bad, was that really the response and whatnot? And that's very, very selfish thinking. That's very, very victim-y, that's very, very stupid. But for some reason, it ended up working well, because most of the people who, like, I've made enemies of, down the line, like, they end up being horrible people. They've had, like, criminal histories. They've had, like, very, very violent and cruel and unusual, just twisted mentalities. Like, the only reason why I'm still kind of in a customer service position is that I try to hide my honest opinion. And I don't really lie either, because I just don't feel like that's the right thing. I don't like have like a backup list in my head that I honestly think that I'm beginning to think that most people kind of have, just like a backup list of lies to jump to that I've never really developed, because I've never really talked with anybody and I've never really built up a social life. Usually people have like some backup lies in their heads, like some type, but I literally have none. I'm beginning to believe that's the case, but I am a bit digressing again. But I've always been kind of led by my emotions, which is, you know, I wanted to learn all this. I wanted to do all that, not because like it benefit me, but because it itself was just neat. Like, why don't I learn a little bit of like what surgeons do? Because like it's cool, not because like it benefit me, not because like I'd become a surgeon. No, because it was just cool. And Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, it really helped me a lot because, like, I've always been all over the place. I know how to do a lot of things. I've been an artist, I've been a writer, I've been a musician when it comes to the cultural creation of things. I'm a bit of an engineer. I've done origami. I know how to work with electronics. I know how to more or less work a lot of technical things. I know how to use a printer and type things on a computer, which is a surprising, which apparently is now a rare skill. Still is. I don't know how, but my love for computers ended up making me a tech expert that not only succeeds the older generation, which by default never grew up with the thing, and they never even bothered trying to learn a new thing, but now I'm just like, here. I don't know, like, the younger generation, like, is always on their phones, and that's, like, always catered to, like, all the dumbasses of the world. And they never really have to worry about much. And even when a technical issue arrives, it's like they have their own, but they've never really figured out how to, like, do stuff. Meanwhile, I know how to do tech support on the phone just by using Google. It's just a pain in the ass because, like, it's so clunky. And, like, your fat fingers and the precision and the weird ways you have to tap, hold, drag, just to do, like, a bunch of things that you can just tap a few buttons on the keyboard just to easily do. I don't know. But, but my emotions have been leading me a lot in my life. And it also has driven me back because there's things that I don't want to do, that I hate, that I get angry at, and I don't really hide it either because I don't want to. Because I'm just that emotional, I suppose. And I don't see what's wrong with it either. Even now, it's like, I know it's inhibiting me, but I don't see why I should hide it. Like, everyone's fucking ugly. They're difficult to deal with. I don't think they'd survive a single second. And I don't know why we're keeping them alive. That's just my genuine evil thoughts. I think most of humanity should just be wiped out because they wouldn't survive. They're literally only being kept alive because of abundance and luxuries that people better than them have made. And, but apparently that doesn't solve problems. That, just me feeling like me being a victim because it's me who has to, because, like, I was getting pointed out by all this by my brother, basically. Like, he's the one who's basically telling me all this shit. Like, he's the one who pointed out, like, this pattern of thinking where I'm going, like, I'm dealing with, I. A lot of these phrases turn back to me feeling and doing all this, right? And I struggle to kind of see it, but in a way I kind of realized a little bit recently, but like, there's not much, it's just crazy to me because, like, I don't want to be responsible for someone else. I don't want to, like, if there's, like, an old person who needs freaking help, why the fuck do I have to help them? Even, it's part of the job where I have to help them to the best of my ability anyway, even though I can't really coach them and they gotta take up my time. And I have a whole bunch of other customers too, and I gotta, call for help and do all that crap and whatnot. I can't balance everything by myself. Even when I want to, other people take up too much of my time and effort for me to do that. Like, it's so annoying when people, like, demand and not only but, like, some of my coworkers too, just their undivided attention and time and effort just to do things. And it doesn't really help that one of the coworkers there refuses to do front work. He's only doing one thing. Like, he's such a fucking pain in the ass. I don't know why the fuck we haven't gotten rid of him, but Hey, and also the funny thing is that I'm being treated equally, if not worse than that guy. Even though I do more, um, I don't know. This makes me feel pissed. And that's just kind of been how I react to things, where, why the fuck do I have to put up with this? Why the fuck is this person still alive to do this to me? Why is this guy putting it on my plate? Why do I have to do this just to survive? Why do I? Why should I? Why am I doing this? Facing this? Being given this? Be placed under the responsibility of? Must take accountability for? Stuff that I personally do not see directly attached to me. And my brother said that if I wanted to actually move up higher in the world, I'd have to effectively, I've grown a bit as a human being, even in the slightest of ways. Not too much, because I still am kind of the same, but I do try to grow up even in the littlest of ways. Though I'm apparently, the word try isn't quite right, but that's the best way I can describe it. And where, rather than like taking responsibility and accountability and feeling responsible for and accountable for just certain things in my grasp, like, I'm responsible for my meals, right? I'm responsible for taking out my trash and being clean. I'm not responsible for someone else's and whatnot. But the response that I was given is that if I wanted to actually make it higher in the world without like being one of the masses, which, I gotta be honest, like the way he describes me isn't unfortunately something I can't reject. It's just that, it's in a very abstract way. The only response I can give is, but the way I do it is correct. And I still firmly believe that. But at the end of the day, if I want to go higher, I can't exactly keep doing what everyone else does. And the funny thing, the truth is that I am well aware that what I'm doing is something that literally anyone else can. It's just that no one really does. And I've chosen that because everyone else is just kind of like being a sappy, disgusting, they're all whiny, they keep on demanding, wah, wah, wah. I deserve this, I deserve that, I don't deserve this, I don't deserve that. I'd never see the point in being the bigger person because I'd feel drained of it. Like, he says, he basically told me, like, the equivalent of, like, manning up, effectively, where I gotta take responsibility and, like, feel responsible for everything that goes around me. To have the power to just kind of decide how to react and how to do stuff, I guess. Because typically I feel like it's unfair, right? That something bad happens to me, that I'm forced to put up with bullshit, that I because I didn't get enough sleep that night. That's part of my control. That's something I can control, but I kind of neglect. So that's on me, of course. But stuff that I'm not responsible for is like someone's entire happiness that I have to like work around them, have to like figure out what they're thinking, and everything of the sort. And I can make up excuses. Like, I'm literally born with a fucking disability that makes me unable to comprehend what the fuck they're even thinking. And even if I try to use all my brain power to try and emulate like a theory of mind on them, it's probably going to be wrong anyway, and it's probably going to suck, right? Those are excuses at the end of the day. Like, I can't do it. I can't. That's like it boils down to me saying I can't do it. I have a bunch of reasons, but the basic statement is I can't do it. And the idea where like I don't understand. Like, I literally, he ended up like really annoying me. Like, that was his intention. So I will, like, I fucking scream, like, why the fuck do I have to put up with this? Like, if I, like, buddy, I want to just fucking quit my job. I just want to, like, may as well fucking get a car right now and go explore the entire world. Find something actually worth living for. Find something worth actually improving and, like, working towards. Because at the end of the day, there's literally nothing in this world that makes me feel that. Not a single person, not a single site, because everyone around here just is dead, like, emotionally, physically, and mentally. No one here to me genuinely feels like a person. They all feel expendable, and they all just I don't know how else to really put it, but it's the concept where, it's basically me playing the victim, as he put it, but as I put it, I want to put it, it's me being responsible for things that I shouldn't be. And by shouldn't, I'm literally mean, like, not because, like, I can't be, not because, it's because of something I did or whatever. It's just like, I don't know how to really put it. It is by my actions that I, like, if I want to keep the house clean, then I will clean it. But if someone keeps messing it up, then how's that my responsibility? And if they lash out at me for trying to do things to keep everything clean, why is it on me? And I don't know. Then, I've been, then after that, it's just been a fun time. I'm also played a little bit of Stealth Sword recently because, like, of someone on Twitter, like, bitching about them getting banned because they literally joined the server just to start drama. Like, bye, loser. Nobody's gonna miss you. And and then, like, the fan service in the game is, like, peak stuff. There's also a little bit of drama going on with, like, the new character and, like, the Korean feminist thingamabob, and I have no idea what's going on with that. I don't know if it's even intentional or not, and I'm not sure what to really say. I don't know what's going on with that. That's, like, an entirely different thing. I'm not gonna do any, deep dive on, like, if it was intentional or not, if it should have been avoided or not, and if the anger is justified or not. That just feels like a massive pain. So I'm not gonna worry about that. And this is also really embarrassing to kind of say, but yeah. Let me actually continue the story before I jump to that. I've been having a pretty wonderful time on the Discord server. Kind of joined just to kind of, for one, kind of figure out how to build my team and whatnot to be, like, actually strong, because I don't want to do too much thinking on that, because, like, I don't want to go through and read everything and, like, do, like, all this research and stuff. Just, like, going through, like, do the math, calculate everything. Like, that's something that someone else can do. I can do it if I really wanted to, but why would I want to spend all my time just doing that for a game? Plus, like, as the game goes on, there's already, like, at least 3 for every element, and there's, like, 6 of them in total, so that's, like, 18, and they all have, like, about 10 main skills for each of them, plus, like, about 6, 7, 8, I think 7. Yeah, maybe something like 22 potentials in total with their own effects. And then there's, like, there are 4 skills, 3 of which are, stuff that they can use on the field if you're playing as them, and two of them, one of them, both two of them are support skills, and one of them is both, three in total, three in total actionable Vanguard, two in total, like support. And the only thing that's shared between the two is literally the ultimate skill. So there's the regular, normal attack and the skill plus the ultimate. And then there's the support skill plus the ultimate 3 and 2. But the ultimate's the same between the two. And, like, that's a lot of reading and stuff like that. And even if you summarize the effects and stuff, it's still just kind of like you still got to go through all of that just to find out the right combination of teams, see if like different elements can kind of coexist and whatnot. Like that's also that. Plus, I get to like goon post, just kind of like be free to loot all the characters that I want. Not really. It's only limited to like, Discord TOS, right? And I've been like making a lot of like bubble sheets, like these bubble things, which kind of like make the like if you place it over like a character with a swimsuit on, it makes them appear like way more exposed than they actually are because through the power of like actually it's because like I learned something from an art tutorial that I saw like a very, very long time ago that I'm kind of putting in practice by making these bubble sheets for fun, because why not? Plus, like, I don't even have to draw this shit. I just have to cut out bubbles in, like, a sheet, and you get so much for free. It takes me, like, maybe 5 minutes if I'm really, really careful and trying to, like, chop off the right pieces from the bubble sheet to just make it so exposed. The power of censorship can be used to make things very, very nice, but only if it's actually used in a proper way. Most people don't, for obvious reasons, for every single possible reason. And but I ended up actually getting in trouble in the freaking Discord server because I've been a bit too lewd recently. And, I'm just like, like it's stupid, but I felt kind of annoyed and angry that I was punished because, like, it was fine. It wasn't wrong. It was just that Discord is a bitch, but it's just kind of like, it's my fault because I'm doing something harmless because Discord's a bitch and I don't like him. And I got punished even more because like I made a joke about someone else breaking policies because like Discord policies is bullshit, right? I don't know how else to put it. Like they hate anime, but if it's furry then it's a-okay. I guess lucky me that I sit on the border, not even border, people think I'm just a fucking furry, so I just get like the full free F pass, I guess. I get the fur pass. Even though this is fucking human skin, assholes. Fuck you. But I just couldn't, for some reason I decided like take a deep breath in and like meditate on that a little bit, like on that feeling, just like I feel angry because I felt. Why? Because I felt like I was being punished for something that didn't really fucking matter. But of course it did matter, and I still have to follow the rules and whatnot. Even if they're shit, because they currently hold a pretty good fucking power. Right? And but it wasn't like personal or anything. I was just more or less angry that like it felt personal, but it really wasn't. But for some reason, I felt that. And then, I had to, like, leave to, like, talk and, do some more socializing outside my room because of, like, there's just a whole bunch of stuff that's going on. And I don't know, when I was just thinking about it, I was just thinking, like, how much I've been ruled by my emotions. But at the same time, it's also, like, But you know, it's also like I haven't been really particularly how do I put it? Like it hasn't really done me wrong in the sense that like I guess you could compare it to like something like the Devil's Temptations, I guess. I don't know how else to put it. It's literally like it gives me comfort, it gives me like skills and a whole bunch of other stuff because I like doing all this. I'm skilled in a whole variety of things. It's easy for me. It's no problem for me. And like that's just kind of it's because of my emotions. I've chased so many different passions and I know way more than others have on various different things. And like, but at the end of the day, it also kind of like, because like there was one thing that I also observed in my emotions there. When I felt that, I kind of wanted to lash out. I wanted to curse out the mods. Which I'm not going to. Obviously, I'm not going to, which is why, like, I'm kind of, like, I meditated on that. I'm literally, like, talking about it. I'm telling you guys about my thoughts, not, like, actually fucking, I'm not, like, fucking, and this isn't, like, a fucking manifesto, no. This is literally just me going, like, I thought this, and I felt like doing this, but I didn't because, well, not really. I haven't done it because I just haven't done it. It's a decision, right? I felt this way. And I wanted to do this. I felt I wanted that. I wanted to, like, I don't know how else to put it. It's literally an emotional thing. You just want to do it. I felt wronged, and I just wanted to fucking lash out at someone. And even though this feeling was, like, a thing, a surprisingly strong one, that I knew was wrong, and I wasn't going to fucking do that whatsoever. And it's just like, huh. Damn. And then I was just like kind of thinking about it, like I'm way more emotional than other people, like way more than any other man that I know. And I was just thinking, like, has like every other man just kind of abandoned or killed their emotions and shit? Just like they just kind of fake shit at best. All their emotions are muted. All their feelings and stuff are very, very locked down for the sake of discipline and action. Like, in order to really man up, you gotta, like, pretty much mute your emotions. And at some point, every single guy who isn't a genuine fucking piece of shit, like, they know how to lock that down. They know how to lock their emotions down. They know how to keep that shit regulated. And at some point, like, all the good ones, even the more bare bones ones, know how to do that. Know how to lock it down. And get shit done. And, there aren't many of those types of men who know how to lock it down and get shit done. And also kind of, like, balance, like, actually having a soul, because your soul is kind of really connected to your emotions, right? I just feel like that's the case no matter what. And I don't know, like, I've never made that decision to, like, mute my emotions, ever. I've always felt them to the fullest. Even when I tried to, like, hold it in as a kid, I just blew up, so I just completely abandoned that possibility. And I have heard, like, I remember, like, when I was talking to, like, a EMT, and I was introduced to the concept of, like, emotional availability, and to just, not really seal off my emotions, but just to, like, hold it. don't let it explode. Not here. This is the wrong time for it. But when there's when you if you still feel that, if it still hasn't faded away, take it to a better place. Take it to a better time, and just let it. Just then you can feel it. Then you can do it. And that was, I thought that was pretty cool. But and that apparently was a skill that I could learn, but I had no idea how to go about it. Still don't. Because, like, when you feel it, like, if you just don't let it out, then you're just gonna, it's just gonna, the remnants are just gonna kind of sit there. And, if I do just let it fade away, if I just kind of hold it in and then just kind of try and get shit done, it becomes too faded away for me to do anything with it. But it's still there. It still, like, piles up, like this little permanent nick that just keeps building up and up and up. As little things keep happening until I, like, finally snap. I can't do that. That wasn't an option. Not that I didn't know how else to really, like, manage my emotions. So emotional availability is going to be a really tough skill for me to even learn at all. But, like, I don't know, like, I just can't figure out, like, I feel like I'm one of the very few people who, like, not really few, I guess. There's, at least with my generation and generations after me, men have fully abandoned the idea of discipline and managing your emotions and controlling them. Because part of it, because in a strange way that most people kind of feel and treat it as, like, just not feeling anything, just completely abandoning their emotions, killing their soul, being nothing but an unfeeling worker. And I didn't want that. But at the same time, I don't know how to keep my soul and emotions while also being a man, being able to manage it, being able to allow myself to feel things, to be happy, to be able to do stuff. But and then, like, I'm just, and I kind of also noticed that, like, whenever I turn on my emotions, like, I feel everything to the fullest extent, like happiness, sadness, anger, and whatnot. If I'm really happy and something kills it, then I get really, really angry and sad and whatnot. But I can't really, like, turn it down as soon as as soon as I feel angry, as soon as I feel sad, like I didn't, like, as soon as it was basically like a floodgate, not a volume control. Like, you can just suddenly silence it. It was just like the water's gonna flow, and you gotta, like, really turn and seal it all back up. The doors are open. You can, like, spin it all the way open, easy peasy lemon squeezing, and the water comes pouring out. But if you need it closed, you gotta, like, you gotta, like, get that really, you gotta put in the effort. You gotta, it still takes time even if you put in all your effort to do it. And, like, I don't know, I don't feel like my emotions are the problem, in that, it's less me being emotional, it's me not having a control over it. And I'm not sure how to really do that. And I feel things, I want to do things, and but, like, the idea that, like, I'm responsible for everything, that, like, that if I do take responsibility for everything that happens around me, my life will improve, I will feel more in control, I will feel powerful. Like, like, my mind constantly wandered around to, like, but it won't stop. Things will get messy again. People are still gonna come back with problems, making me do shit. Even if it's not right now, it's gonna happen over and over again. But being able to take responsibility for things, being able to, whatever. I'm not sure how to put it. I can feel like that's the answer, but I'm unable to really make use of it. But it's also the answer that I'm able to make use of, but I just don't really use it, I guess. Like, I don't know how to put it. Like, if I had taken responsibility for everything that happens around me, and then, I mean, I feel like I probably would be in a higher place. Like, just the way it's described. Like, if I had taken responsibility for just the fact that I do have a YouTube channel right now that I blew up, even if it's been a fluke that I only got through, like, Cyborg009 videos and a little bit of Tema clips here and there, clip compilations, I probably could have blown up. I could have taken responsibility for, like, people wanting more of that, people wanting similar content, and made more content like that. But I didn't want to because it wasn't me. And it didn't feel right. But it's what people wanted. I could become a clip channel instead of just a VTuber who, they more or less, even if I try to kind of separate it, it basically ended up with me trying to grift off of more popular VTubers in the franchise. I still need to, like, I promise I'd make an animation of, so that way it didn't feel like a grift. I still haven't really started at all. Yep. Feels good. I feel it fucking good. Yeah. If I had taken responsibility, you know, instead of just feeling tired all the time, I just do it. I remember, like, back, like, years ago, like, I have the time, and, like, I have the time. I know I can use the time and the effort and the skill needed to, like, straight up make what I need to actually make the animations. I promise to do what I need to video edit, to whatever, right? And if I had taken responsibility for my actions, then I probably wouldn't have gotten on meds that fucked up my head even more. If I'd taken responsibility for my actions, then I wouldn't have acted out too much. But at the same time, like, if I did that, I constantly decided, like, what if I do take responsibility, it's me it feels like I'm separating myself from my emotions. It makes me feel like I'm choosing to not be happy. And I then choose an option that doesn't help at all. And just repeats the same thing. Because by the time my happiness is over, where I have the ability to take control, it's not me deciding to not be happy anymore. At that point, I already am not happy. I have to take in the control right now and decide to be civil, to be kind, to do what I need to, do what works. But instead, I don't, because sometimes it just feels wrong. It is wrong from time to time. And I don't know. Like, I'm not, you know, like, I just kind of do my own thing. Like, this entire YouTube channel was just me doing my own thing. Clipping Tema was just, like, I wanted to do it because, well, she was a small channel at the time. I think she's still kind of small, but I think she's big enough that she can earn her 500k by easily. I just have to be patient so I can get her feet pics. I don't need to contribute anything to help that number grow. And also because, like, there's the usual, like, sites I use to, like, try and, like, rip VODs and stuff from Twitch and whatnot to clip her weren't really working. So even if I wanted to, I couldn't. So, and whatnot. It's, I don't know, it's just, if I had taken responsibility at those moments for things that I didn't feel responsible for, because, like, I just did things for fun. People have, like, this weird expectation for me. Like, I chose this specific model because, well, I didn't have, like, a VTuber design in mind. I just have, like, nearly 200 original character designs. And I just chose this one because it just happened to be the one that just kind of worked, right? I don't have a female voice. I can't fake that shit. So I had to choose a guy's voice. And I kind of figured, like, since this guy's personality was just kind of, like, ad-libbed, it's kind of like, when I made comics of him, it just kind of worked out. Just did what I wanted. People thought, like, I do, like, this, I wasn't even trying to play a personality, but because I chose to be a VTuber, specifically, even though, like, I didn't really concern myself with the idol culture, and, like, the idea of being parasocial for people, to people. And then it just kind of happened, I guess. Like, everything that kind of happened ever since is just me kind of doing whatever I wanted. Not me taking responsibility, not me trying to appeal to people, not me doing anything. It's just because I didn't feel like, other people's expectations, even though I was just doing my own thing and just kind of doing whatever I wanted. Well, eventually, whatever I wanted, I ended up stumbling across like many hundreds, if not thousands of different things that people were interested in. Obscure games, obscure flash games that are now becoming lost media to the newer generation who want to see these old games, want to see these histories, which other channels honestly do better. But at the end of the day, I could have been like a VTuber who focused specifically on that, play like really old games like Stick War and a whole bunch of other stuff, just like the Tetris the. I remember like I'm pretty sure the animator, he's actually pumping out some more stuff. He has like an official pronunciation for that video, like an entire video dedicated for that. But I didn't watch it because I just like read it in my head and it's like Tetris. You just got Tetris, right? And when I actually tried to say it for the first time, I fucked it up so much. But it's just me, not really, because it's not really, I don't know how to put it. I'm not sure, I don't know, it might be because I don't know what responsibility is. I don't know what it honestly genuinely qualifies outside of, like, very, very directly what affects my life, what I do to affect my own life. Not what I can do for others that will affect my own life, but what I directly do to my own life. Like, if I do something to the world that gives me something back, that's my responsibility. If I earn something, like, whatever effort I put into the world that I get back immediately in some way, then it's not my responsibility. Like, me going to my job and, like, working and stuff, that's kind of like my responsibility to, like, pay rent and stuff. Everything else that's attached to it really isn't, because like customers coming to me with their shit and everything of the sort, that's honestly not my responsibility. That's unfair to place on me as a responsibility. It might be my responsibility. I don't perceive it as such. I don't feel like it is, but it might be a responsibility of mine that I just choose not to fulfill, I guess. But I don't feel like it is a responsibility at all, and thus needs no fulfilling, because what the fuck do I, like, me pleasing some random dumbass customer is not going to affect me in the slightest. They're not kind. Most people aren't even, like, good enough for me to be kind to. Like, I remember back in school as well, like, everybody was, like, doing the wrong thing, and I thought, like, we literally, like, I was just, like, in my head, just going, like, we literally just learned about this 10 minutes ago. Buddy, how are you struggling to understand this right now? We literally got taught this. You are literally, like, saying the exact opposite words here right now, and you just mixed that up with that one. This should be still fresh on your mind. What do you mean, bro? Why are you so stupid? And I literally throughout, like, elementary to middle school, I just, like, made my own isolated group and just kind of did that. Like, just worked alone. Like, that's how far I was willing to go, to, like, not take responsibility for the others I was forced to work with, because I didn't feel like they were my responsibility. Even though they were a responsibility, I didn't see it as one. I didn't see them as one. I saw them as burdens, people that I have to solve, a problem, not a responsibility. And I'm not sure if that's like how I'll move up in the world. Like maybe that is the case. Maybe that is, I don't know, because like if I did, things would have turned out better. Would I still feel the same? Would I still be tormented? Because like I remember like when I try to be nice to people and turns out they were assholes, and I just fucking regretted it every single moment. Like every single moment I've tried to be nice, and then turns out that person was an asshole. It turns out the person that was corrupt, and I just never really took responsibility for that. I don't know. Like I didn't. Like I just like it was my responsibility to be kind to other people, but then it just kind of became like, so it's my responsibility to be nice to bad people, to let them kind of feel whatever the fuck they need to, or whatever. And but then people like say like that this and that is not being kind, and even though like other people are like, yeah, no, it's kind to like give them the straightforward that they need to change, they need to get their act together, but it's like wah, no, it's not, you're just being mean, you're using the thingy as an excuse to be mean and whatnot, and it's like, I don't know, can't please anyone, you can't please everyone, and if you're working at customer service position, there's literally no fucking general rule. You gotta figure all of them out individually, one by one, to make sure they're not fucking crazy. And I don't know. And honestly, right now, I'm just thinking, like, what on earth are my responsibilities right now? I want to eventually move out and just explore the rest of the world, live an actual life instead of being trapped in this hellhole. I want to find people I can actually get along with and whatnot. I want to find like actual love at some point, but apparently I'm not ready for it yet because I'm not a man. I'm not a man quite yet, and I do admit that. Which is why people probably think of me as a femboy. And in a way that I don't know how else to. I'm not sure. I don't really feel particularly disgusted by it or bad by it. It's just like, yeah, that kind of describes it. The only reason why I didn't see myself as a femboy is because like, fucking, it's just my motto. But like my actual voice, my actual personality, that is not femboy. I imagine like a femboy being like a cuter. Significantly cuter. Like emotionally, like, ah, that fucker at work who did something wrong to you. Like if I was like a genuine femboy VTuber, like I just like imagine myself doing like gay shit like that, like doing like not ASMR like that, but just kind of like, yeah, that was fucked up. Fuck that guy. Like being emotional support mainly, not like. That's like my vision of the fucking femboy, like the support, like basically wife, but guy, supportive, but with a dick. I guess that counts as traps, but like there's like a little bit of overlap between those two concepts, but like, you get the fucking point, right? Like femboys are basically like that to me, not like whiny, emotional little fucking messes of shit. That's not. I wouldn't like. I like. To me, that's not femboy. That's more or less a mess of a person, a failure of a man. Like I wouldn't consider. I wouldn't like. If I had like a femboy fetish, I wouldn't jerk off to that. Like I'm like my entire fucking YouTube personality right now, currently, is not me playing a VTuber. It's not me giving a fantasy to people to escape from. It is not like anything of the sort. It's literally me ranting online at best. I'm making whatever videos I think is funny, and I don't see the fucking appeal. Like I never saw like the femboy thing in me because it's like. There's no way, like, even if I was gay, even if I was a woman, like, if I looked at my own channel, I'm not gonna see, oh, cute femboy with depression. I would see. This fucker whines too much. Man the fuck up. Like, even a femboy has, like, his man moments, alright? It's just that he's cute. Alright? Like, that's my vision of a femboy. If I want to design something like that, like, I'd actually design something like that. Like, I am more of a boy failure than I am a fucking femboy. And the fact that I fucking said that out loud actually fucking pains me. That's actually fucking painful. That... fucking hell, I cannot believe that I admitted that I'm a fucking failure and somehow can feel comfortable in my own skin without trying to change. But at the same time, I feel emotionally numb enough to be able to say this stuff with, like, a straight face and, like, analytically, that I'm not gonna feel too much about it. But I don't know. I guess I still have a lot of ways to go, but that's just kind of my thoughts for the time being. That maybe I need to figure out how to man up. I need to know how to be a man, properly take responsibility, properly take accountability, and be something better. And I have I don't know. But I don't know how to really put it. Yeah, I guess it's also because, like, taking responsibility isn't really rewarding, or there's an incentive to do it as well. Like, again, if I don't feel like getting along with someone with volatile emotions, and I know they're not going to change, especially in this day and age as well. It's like, because nobody's willing to change, there's no point in changing yourself. That's always been kind of my mindset. Like, why change for the better that more or less is going to be for the sake of others more than the sake of yourself? And of course, my brother also told me that, like, I'm locking myself out of opportunities because I lock myself out from others effectively. That I give up on others before, like, I give them a chance. And I have a hard time understanding why that's wrong, because, like, I'm looking around me, I'm looking at people around me, I'm just like, yeah, you guys have no fucking hope. I have literally no sense of empathy, sympathy, or see you even as a basic human being in any capacity whatsoever when I'm dealing with you. I see no incentive whatsoever to try and help you. I see no incentive in getting along with you. If we were back in the tribal ages, like, I'd just, like, straight up get rid of you instantly. Your tribe would be wiped out. In this day and age, I wouldn't make an alliance with you. I wouldn't make any partnerships with you. It doesn't even matter how many resources you were given by whatever God-given luck. Like, no. Sorry. But incompetency and bad work ethic describes a person way more than their personality and stuff. And I don't know. And I still honestly do believe that most of humanity just gotta go. 80% at the very minimum just is incapable of higher things. They're selfish, self-thinking. And even if I am a part of it, that's absolutely fine, because at the end of the day, people who made the hard decisions, it's been proven through history and whatnot. But, like, there's a way to climb higher, apparently. And I don't know if I can reach it. I don't know if I'm able to really make use of it. I don't know if it may be because of trauma, maybe because of my past and whatnot. But those are just kind of my thoughts recently. So, yeah. I don't know how else to really continue this video. I hope to God I was more coherent and, like, straightforward and, like, organized, even though I'm just kind of ad-libbing all this stuff. Like, that was basically my entire point of the video, where, like, shit's been happening, and I, throughout my recent times as well. And most of my life, I've been more or less led by emotions. And recently, I've been told and kind of learned that I'm an emotional person. I play victim a lot. And I haven't been much of a man because I don't really take responsibility. And the reasons why that is, and if I did, and whatnot, just like my general thoughts about like everything that's been kind of happening. I hope I've been more consistent without too much like tangents. Given that I have gone on tangents, they weren't too long or excessive, and I jumped back straight to the main topic. But other than that, that's kind of about it. So, yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. And honestly, I don't know where the future of this channel is gonna go. I don't know. Like I've mentioned on Twitter before that I'm probably considering quitting being a VTuber because I'm not fulfilling the responsibilities of a VTuber. I guess that word popped up again because like we are, as a VTuber, even through the idol stuff, they captured one thing. Like even my original conception of a VTuber through Live 2D was bringing fictional characters to life, bringing the fantasy alive. And allowing like individual people to become actors, live action role play or whatever, like actually have that talent kind of show. And like I don't know, it's just I don't know where I'm going with this channel, and what responsibility would mean in regards to this YouTube channel after everything it's been through. But I know that I'm not gonna delete any of my videos. I've unlisted a few videos. I've made a few videos members only, simply because I fucking hate a lot of fucking stone skitties. I did not intend for that to happen. The way I'm gonna take responsibility. This is my cope. Is that I've basically made it so you have to pay to see those videos. So kids can't fucking access them. The dumb idiots who can't even who aren't able to even hold down a job, if they can't pay for the advice, then if they can't have a job to figure out their own problems and earn money by figuring out problems and problem solving in any minimal capacity that everyone can do at such jobs like fast food, warehouse work, or through retail work, or even an office job, or whatever other bull crap bureaucratic stuff, right? That like if they can't hold it down, then they can't watch it. They can't annoy me with some dumb bullshit comments, all right? Like that it just completely locks them out. All the obnoxious people instantly out. And like that's my responsibility, I guess. But I know I'm not gonna delete any of my videos. I'm not planning to anytime soon, because if there's one thing that I want to accomplish at the very least, by me being the unhinged asshole that I am throughout my entire YouTube career and throughout my online presence, I want at the very least that if I end up changing, if I end up like actually becoming a better person, these videos are gonna stay up. I don't care about like whatever cancellations or whatever. I don't really fucking care about that. All right. I want to have this kind of standing as like proof that if I end up making it, this is who I am. I am right now, and still have been, a very emotional human being. I'm impulsive. I do a whole bunch of other crap, and I've been struggling with a whole bunch of stuff. I've made the same excuses. I've relapsed. I've done all this stuff. And if you really want to dig into every single bit of my history, it is literally here as evidence that I am literally not that perfect of a human being. I'm literally just some average Joe. I literally can't do much more than others. I have deep thoughts, but I wasn't able to, like, even now, I don't capitalize on, like, a lot of the stuff that I could use to improve my life. And so, if I do end up improving, well, here's the fucking journey. YouTube, broadcast yourself. That's the entire fucking goddamn point. And I don't know, I don't intend for this fucking channel to be a self-help thing either, but you know, I don't think that's gonna be that type of shit, right? But that's just kind of what I want to kind of do if I do end up improving. I probably won't, simply because I know who I am. I'm going to relapse, and when I go back into retail, sleep deprived, unable to have fun, and you know, with the entire world, like, you know, they don't have anything else better to do. Let's censor all this problematic fiction and blah blah blah. Let's make the world a worse place and more miserable, and filter out what people get to have fun and don't get to have fun with. And, you know, also make it so that way the newer generation can't fucking buy houses and you know, all this crap, right? Like, you know, I'm 100% gonna fucking relapse. I'm 100% gonna hate the rest of the world, and I'm gonna feel like this. No, almost none of this shit is my responsibility. And even if it was, I'd make excuses not to do it because I'd be too tired, too fucking, like, you know, physically, mentally, or spiritually fucking tired to put up with half the shit that pops up in this world. But that's me. I'm not like, I wasn't instantly perfect. Still am not. And I don't know if I even will become a proper man. But goddamn, we gotta try. Of course, my brother would probably say, why fucking try, just do, but until that clicks for me, until I make the decision to fucking completely abandon all my freaking agency to, you know, let myself be a fucking impulsive piece of shit, like, sure. Then I guess I'll become a man where I've found the side, like, I don't get to have fun and stuff. And feel shit and properly feel like things are not unjust or unjust and fucked up. And not have to, like, obey or, you know, want to revolt. Like, I don't know, but this isn't the start of my journey. It's not the end. Shit's gonna happen. Who knows if the world's gonna collapse or not, but that's kind of just it for me right now. I still gotta do some dishes and stuff, and, well, yeah. Like, subscribe, leave a comment with your thoughts, and I hope you guys enjoyed this really, really weird video, I guess. It's not me it's me rambling, but it's not me really yapping about how bad my life is. It's just kind of like, I still kind of did that. It's just kind of like me yapping about my life and feeling shit. So, yeah, have a good night, everybody. I wanna get some sleep. Might take some fucking Benadryl because, like, I'm still getting, like, mucus buildup in my throats and stuff and itchy rashes that antihistamines kind of help with, and that Benadryl kind of helps. So